Hello and welcome to our new GMP livestream episode on Optimize 360. Today we're going to talk about test and personalize your site messaging. My name is Nicholas Topo.
And my name is Lilia and we'll be your presenters today.
So just before we get started, just make sure to sign up to the GMP bi-weekly newsletter to receive the latest updates on products, industry, inventory opportunities, training and learning across the Google marketing platform. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about the importance of testing and optimization, getting started with testing, getting started with Optimize, and Lilia is going to run you through a quick demo, and finally we're going to answer all your questions. So just make sure you write down your questions, and then so we can answer them at the end. So here's a snapshot of all the products in the GMP, and today's focus is going to be on Optimize 360, which is part of the GMP and as well as Google Analytics. So let's dig into how Optimize helps you drive customers towards conversions, the importance of testing and optimization. We live in a data-rich world. This is very true, and here's a fun fact for you. Every day, Google Analytics processes 500 billion of digital moments across devices. That is a lot of touch points. Capturing and understanding the right data for your business is becoming more and more critical. In order to uncover the right message, many marketeers have turned to site testing and personalization tools. In fact, in recent study with e-consultancy, we found that leading marketeers are more than twice likely than the mainstream counterparts to use site experimentations. And so Google went to market and asked those questions to those marketeers. How do you test the moment? What do you like about your current testing tools? What are you missing? What is working well? And this is why we created Optimize in Optimize 360. A culture of optimization is where everyone in an organization is using data to test and learn as a means to improve the customer experience every day. It's a growth mindset focused on improving the customer experience across an entire organization. This isn't monthly analytics reporting or siloed optimization team or a few insight here and there. This is everyone shifting mindset to be data driven and action orientated. At the end of the day, it's about knowing your customer and using data well across each other's customers' interaction within your company. We know that you put a lot of attention, a lot of effort on using your data to generate insightful and dynamic ads to get users onto your site. For example, let's look at here our friend Dave on the top left of the slide, who's in market for a vacation, and Casey, who's in market for yet another business trip. Based on what we know about them from our first-party data and third-party data sources, we're careful to ensure that those users are seeing ads that correspond to what they expect or what want to see. After all that work, a customer finally clicks. But what happens now? What happens next? You try to satisfy everyone and end up satisfying no one. Either they deliver the same page, which means the customer experience has been disrupted by a generic landing page, or you ask your developer team to develop and maintain a different landing page for different campaigns. That gets pretty complex very quickly. You need something better that enables you to continue a customer along a tailored journey, giving them what they want. Making the most out of your full customer experience. The concept of CRO, conversion rate optimization, is simple. By giving customers the experience that they expect on site, and by consistently testing those experiences and your assumptions, you can drive better business outcome. In this example, you can optimize your conversions by giving Dave and Casey landing page experiences that coincide with what we know about them and deliver them directly to their experience they expect. And this is all done without needing any developer resources. You can also test changes those experiences to see if Dave might react well to a hotel offer, for example. CRO is the constant process of asking questions and quantitatively testing those hypotheses to give your customers the best possible experience and maximize business outcomes. This means optimizing conversion rate, but also maximizing revenue per conversion and lifetime value of customers. We know that CRO enables you to drive conversions by improving on-site experiences. Here you can see how the GMP products work together to improve your business outcomes. GA is a critical source of first-party data, helping you better understand your customers. Google Ads, such as 360, DV360, help you reach both your customers and beyond in order to drive more customer to your sites. Optimize helps you to move those site visitors from interested into converters. Optimize helps you to leverage all the data you already have to make instant changes to your site experiences to guide them to convert. Getting started with testing. We all agree that testing in personalizing messaging is key. And now I'm going to leave that part to Lilia, who's going to run you through this.
Thank you so much, Nico. So as we see and we all agree that it is important to test. And now that we know that, where should we start? Before starting your first test, there are a few things that you should consider. So if you are very new to testing, or maybe you've never tested before, we do recommend you to start simple. Start with one test, something you're very familiar with. You're probably looking into your data, gathering insights about your customers on a daily basis. Start with those insights. Then, as you get more comfortable, you can move forward from running one simple test to running multiple tests. Then, as you get even more comfortable, you can move towards personalization, and then even go to running your test on the fly, gathering insights and personalizing here and now, and as well leveraging predictive analytics. And another thing, very important thing to keep in mind, is never ever disregard your learnings. We found that on average 30% of A/B tests are successful. This leaves the rest 70% having negative or inconclusive results. And something to mention here is that all of the results are your learnings. Even if a test proves to be negative or maybe inconclusive, it doesn't mean that you haven't gathered these valuable insights and that you haven't learned something about your customers. Imagine this. Let's say you didn't run any testing program and you had your hypothesis and you just went ahead and implemented a change on your website. You put all of the resources, all of the hours, all of the financial resources to make a change, and then you see this negatively impacting the customer experience on your website. That it would be a loss of those resources, loss of your time. And if you were doing a test, then you would have learned that before and you would have known not to implement this change. This would also help you prioritize all the developments and improvements to your website. So if you have a long pipeline of things you want to change and implement, by testing and having a testing roadmap, you can have this prioritization. Then let's say you have a lot of tests and you want to go forward. So you've gathered a lot of hypotheses, you went ahead, you went to all of the stakeholders in your organization, and where do you start? Where should you start testing? So it is useful to collect and prioritize experiments in one place. Make sure to document and keep track of all the tests, all the test ideas, hypotheses, and results in a consistent way. When you think and collect all of the ideas that you want to test, try to map them and then score them on how fast it would be to implement the specific test, and as well how big would the impact be from it. Then you're looking for the tests that would have high impact and would be quick to launch. Those are the ones that you should be starting with. So now you know what to prioritize and which tests to go forward with. What's next? Another thing that is really key for you to remember is make sure to document everything thoroughly. We cannot stress this enough. It is very important to start with a very clear hypothesis. Be as specific as possible. You need to know what you want to test, why you want to test it, and what is the expected outcome of your test. If you cannot answer those questions, make sure to reiterate, think again, or maybe choose another test to go forward with. Second thing, think of the KPIs or primary metrics that you want to impact. By primary metrics, we mean something that is important for your business. For example, if you care about driving revenue or improving conversion rate or lowering bounce rates, those can be good primary KPIs for your test, depending on the hypothesis. Then as well, make sure to select your secondary KPIs. So these are another metrics that you care about. Make sure not to select too many. If you select a lot of different metrics, then it might take a long time for the test to reach significance. Then as well, document what the test should look like, agree on the setup, agree on the audience that you will be targeting. All of this really helps you to go ahead to your organization and agree how the test should actually look like even before you go ahead. And then as you run your test and you reach a conclusion, so a test either is successful, negative, or maybe inconclusive, all of those results, make sure to document them and report on them and keep track for them going forward. Right, so now you have your testing roadmap. You have created a framework for your first test. You have a solid hypothesis. Now you're ready to go and create your first test. So let's dig into how Optimize can help you drive customers towards conversion and can help you start your first test. So what is Optimize? Optimize is actually a tool that was created here at Google to help you ease into your testing and build your testing culture in the organization. We have a free version of the product as well as the enterprise version. By free, we mean that you can go to the website of Optimize right here, right now, create your account, create container, and start testing immediately. The only difference with the enterprise version is that it offers you a bit more advanced capabilities. And as your organization becomes more and more mature, you have more testing needs, then you can go ahead with the enterprise version. It will give you a capability to test more than 5 experiments simultaneously, have more advanced targeting capabilities, such as leveraging Google Analytics audiences for targeting your experiments and for personalizing. Then as well, you are able to change objective for reporting after the experiment begins, and as well gives you service level agreements, which make sure there is a dedicated team to support you in your testing journey. And again, something really cool about Optimize is that it's really quick to set up. It actually builds on top of your analytics. So if you have Google Analytics implemented on your website, you can just modify a few lines of code, add them to your tag, and you're ready to go. And as well, another great feature is that you don't need to be a developer. You don't need to know any coding to launch a test. So there is no coding required to build your experiments, and we'll see that shortly in the demo. And with regards to implementation, so again, it's as easy as creating your Optimize account and container, linking Optimize to your analytics property and view, then installing Optimize on your website using global site tag or G tag or tag manager, and then verifying your installation. And we will actually make sure to include links to the Optimize Help Center under the description of the video of this live stream once it gets published. So make sure to look out for those as well. And what will Optimize enable you? So of course, as we mentioned, Optimize is our testing and personalization tool. It enables you to create those personalizations and tailor your customers with a relevant messaging on your website, and as well to test. So you are able to have to run A/B tests, multivariate tests, or redirect tests on the website. And now let's see how easy it actually is to create your first test. So for this demo, we'll be working with Google Official Merchandise Store, the site that we like to use for our demo. So this is a start page. And once you have created, once you have been to Optimize, you created your account, you created your container, you will be presented with this page that says create your first experience. So let's go and do just that. Then you need to put a name for your test. So in this case, it's Optimize Experience. and then you add a URL of the page that you would like to use. In our case, I would like to work with that start page that we have just seen. And then you can choose A/B test, so that is test in 2 or more variants, multivariate test, test in combinations of changes of different sections, redirect tests, that's when you want to test 2 completely different pages, or personalization. With personalization, you actually don't have an end date of the test. It's not actually a test. And you will be personalizing the content of your web page, content of your website, based on the defined audience. So once that is done, in my case, I will go ahead and create an A/B test, and you click create, and then you're ready to go. So your experience page would look something like this, and there are a few quick steps that you need to follow to launch your first experience. First of all, you need to add a variant. Once you click add a variant, you will quickly have this line on your experience page. Then you can click edit, and you will be redirected to what we call a visual editor. So as you remember, we're working with a start page of the Google Merchandise Store, which looks like this. And as you see, as you hover over different elements of the website, you are able to select them. And once you select them, you have this handy edit tool in the bottom right corner where you can make your changes. So let's take a very simple example. Let's say I have an objective to drive the sales of the new merchandise that comes to this website. And I think that by increasing the font of new on this site, and by maybe changing color, making it bigger and bolder, I'll be able to drive more customers to the new merchandise page and make them add these items to cart and eventually check out. So I have selected new, then you just go and make your necessary changes. So for example, I want to change the color, I want to make it maybe green, I want to make it bold, and let's also make sure that everybody sees it on our website. So now I'm happy with my change, and once you are happy with your change as well, you just click on save. You can quickly review all the changes that you have made to this variation, and once you're ready, click done. As you could see, in this way, I didn't need to do any coding or any advanced changes. I could easily work with a visual editor to create my first variation. So once you have created your variant, you can as well add more variants if you want to test more. Then you have page targeting. So again, we selected that even before we started. That was the start page of the merchandise store. You can change that if you want to modify it on the fly. Then make sure to select your audience targeting. So if you want to target a specific geography, specific behavior, or Google Analytics audience, then you can do that here. So you would click customization, and then you have all of those different possibilities from device category, behavior, or more advanced such as query parameter, data layer variable, and so on. Once I link Google Analytics to Optimize, I would also be able to select Google Analytics audience as my targeting. So just for the sake of this demo, let's say I want to target everybody who is based in Dublin. And save. Then as well, you can add description of what this test is about. So those who will be coming to the Optimize, other people in your organization, perhaps, then they quickly can see what the test is about. Then next step is to link this to your Google Analytics. So once you click on it, you are able to select among the list of properties that are available for you. Right now, I will not do that, but you can just easily click here and link the analytics property, and this will make sure to pull in all of the metrics from analytics and have them available for you to select your objectives. So actually your objectives will be coming from the data that is collected in Google Analytics. So if you have that implemented, then you can easily select, for example, revenue or conversion rate and so on. And some of the advanced settings to mention, you can enable email notifications to be notified if there are any changes to your experience. So once you're happy with those changes, you just click start and you're ready to go. And it's just as simple as that. And to reiterate, great advanced capabilities that we offer with Optimize is, again, it builds on top of your Google Analytics data, which is a really handy benefit. You don't need to implement anything additional or anything advanced here. You can just use what is available already for you. Again, a great tool available for you is actually using Google Analytics audience for your A/B testing and personalization. So let's say you want to have your tests running only for the new users, so those who are coming to your site for the first time, then you're able to do so. To mention again, targeting Google Analytics audiences is a Optimized 360 or enterprise version feature. And then as well, another great integration is that we have for Optimize is integration with Google Ads. So once you have all your different Google Ads campaigns running, once people come to site, then you as well can present them with tailored messaging. So for example, in this case, we have Dave and maybe we have Diane that both receive the same message of cheap holiday trips. And then they come to the site and let's say you know that Dave, he doesn't have any budget limitation. Maybe he's in the higher income category. You can present him with a nice messaging on the website about an amazing beach holiday trip. And let's say Diane, she comes to the website and maybe she is in a lower income category, or then you can present her with a discount or an offer to make sure that she converts. Okay. So now that you have set up your first test, you have everything running, let's jump into results. How will you know that the test has delivered?
So, now I'm going to just show you 3 reports on how you can analyze your results from your optimized experiments. Reporting, find your winner with intuitive reporting. First one, quickly see if one of your variant changes is outperforming other variants in a positive or negative way. Secondly, bear in mind that data is collected through analytics and is analyzed in optimized popularity model to determine winners. And finally, 3, you can also view the experiment's data in analytics to perform more robust analysis in segmentation. But we will cover this in a minute. Make informed decisions faster. Here's another report in Optimize that allows you to make informed decisions faster. Optimize Bayesian statistics will quickly show meaningful reporting. With Google Analytics, you can go deeper again to analyze the full impact of your customer journeys. And here it is, the integration with Optimize and Analytics. When you integrate the 2 platforms together, you will have more insight on analytics based on the behavior of your users from your Optimize experiments. And another thing to bear in mind is each of your variant will be shown as a dimension, and there's another dimension. So when you create your audiences from your experiments, from your variants, this is how you do it. You just add a secondary dimension and you select the one you've created. So first one, you create a segment of users based on exposure to an experience. Secondly, you can compare variance comparison across Google Analytics reports. So all of the reports, you can use that secondary dimension that was just mentioned. And finally, create an audience based on segments remarketing. So this is in the audience builder, you create your audiences for remarketing purposes. As I just said, you can link it to your Google Ads campaigns. So we're going to dig into our questions. I have a first question here. Are the widgets on the platform, widgets on the platform, e.g. retentions, pop-up, or tooltip?
Actually, no. So in the Classic, if we compare it to some other tools, by widgets, what at least to my understanding, that is an add-on or where you can control how the interface will look, or you control how, if you give access to other users to build experiments. So actually that is not possible. You could see it now in the interface, and it would be exactly the same for all of the users. So for now, that is a no. And the second question, is it possible to change the hover of an element?
So this is a good question. So you should be able to change the hover an element in the CSS panel. So when you do your variant, instead of using the user-friendly one, you can go a bit deeper in the technicity, and then you open the CSS, and in here you should be able to modify the hover. And final question is, under UTM parameter for targeting, why is there only UTM campaign available or not other UTMs, such as UTM content?
Well, again, a great question. Thank you for that. So, unfortunately, there are some things that we are still working on. So, if you believe that some feature is not available for you in the Optimize right now, given that it's a fairly new tool, make sure to give your feedback through feedback form or contact. If you use an Optimize 360, work with your account manager or your partner and give us feedback. We'll be listening.
So here's another question. Hi, great pitch. Well, thank you very much. I'm new to this, so might be a stupid questions, but how is this connected to CMS? Are the versions residing in CMS or done directly with Optimize? Can I get access to this demo? Not too sure what you meant by CMS, do you know?
So I believe it's a content management system. So I guess you're wondering how you're able to either change creative or for your website. There are ways to do that. And at the moment, we don't have a direct or easy plug and play links to a CMS, but it of course depends on the CMS system you're using and what the capabilities are.
And final question, can I get access to this demo? Yes, there is a demo account that you can enjoy and try test free, but we always recommend to create your own optimized experiments from your own website, because there is Optimize standard, and which is a free product that you can implement and then try it away as you go. But there is an Optimize demo account that you can use.
And as Nico mentioned, there is a free version, so you can just go ahead directly after this live stream and try to create an account. And as you saw, you can add it, pretty much you can put any website you like and edit it. Until you press run, it doesn't actually make any modifications to your website. So if you're worried about that, then don't worry. And actually for the test to run or to be able to do those modifications, you need to be able to link Optimize to analytics. So until that is linked, again, you will not be able to run a website. So again, don't worry that somebody can go ahead and make changes to your own website. Only you can do so.
So here's another question. We have a client who uses GA260. Now Optimize also comes at a price. Is there a way to test the free version with GA260 before we spend money? So yeah, I think we just answered the question there. So we're gonna go with the next one. Do you want to read that one?
If I have a personalization running and I'm working on a new A/B test, both on the same page, I don't see the personalization, both on the same page, I don't see the personalization changes. Why? In A/B test. I'm not sure what you meant here, so maybe you could specify. I guess one, you will not see changes until you've actually clicked run the test. So that is one. Again, to be able to see the personalization, so by personalization we mean that you tailor experience of the site to the specific audience. So if you want to see yourself that personalization experience, then you need to be in the qualified audience to be shown that experience. And again, for the A/B test, again, if you want to check it yourself, so again, it's a random distribution. If you have been bucketed into one specific experience, then you stay in it for the sake of consistency. When you, for example, a user or your customer will come back to the site with the next session, then to make sure that they have the consistent experience and they are again in the same test. So hope that answers your question.
Does the integration extend to DV260 or just Google Ads only? So at the minute, it only integrates with Google Ads, but I believe that it is on the roadmap to make it more open to the GMP platform and to make it integrated with DV360. But as of now, it is not integrated.
Great. Right. Hey, thanks for the demo.
You're welcome.
Very welcome. A bit on the technical side. I recently struggled to implement Optimize in an SAP environment built on Ajax. Do you know of any helpful resources regarding this? So again, really thank you for the question. Really depends on what the struggle or like where you ran in the technical difficulties. If you're using Optimize 360, then make sure to contact support. Perhaps it might be some issue or we can help you and guide you through the technical difficulties. And as well, we have very helpful Optimize help center where you can find a lot of resources. So make sure to utilize those as well. Great.
I think we're done with questions. Thank you all for joining. Just before we leave, we wanted to show you the resources that we have that will be available when the video will be posted. So there's the Optimize Help Center, how to use Optimize, how to set it up, and how do you get it started with some YouTube videos.
Yeah, we will actually add all of those resources in the description on the YouTube video once this live stream is published. So make sure to come back to the GMP on Air or J360 on Air series and check those out. And we thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.